Welcome to our city. I'm Alonzo Jones, singing in for Mayor Chris Bowich. Here's what's going on this week around our city. Earlier today, Mayor Bowich presented Melina Reyes and Edward Duarte, two high school graduates, with the Arabella Miller Scholarships for college. The trust fund was established as a memorial to the late Miss Arabella Halsey Miller, founder of the Pioneer Club, in recognition of her philanthropic endeavors on behalf of the Elizabeth youth. If you need more information concerning this or any of the events this week, please contact the Public Information Office at 908-820-4238. Joining me today is Ms. Dorothy Key, Director of the Elizabeth Public Library. Good afternoon, good evening actually, and welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
It's nice to be here. I'm very well, thank you.
My pleasure. Now, when I started working with the city a few years ago, Joe Keenan was the Director of the library. How many years have you been here?
It will be 5 years in September. The time has passed quickly.
Well, I don't know if I've done so in the past, but I want to say welcome.
Thank
and you're
you.
doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Senior Spaces. What is Senior Spaces and what plans do you have for it over at the library?
Senior Spaces is a new concept in most public libraries. As you know, we've always had a children's room. We've always had a teen center. But with the growing senior population, it's come to our attention that we need to focus programming on them. So we have fashioned a senior space on the third floor of the main library, and the intent is to provide information and programming that will benefit our seniors.
Now, when you talk about seniors, you also mentioned the third floor of the main library. There's 4 libraries throughout the city?
There are 4 libraries. Well, we have the main branch located on Broad Street.
Okay.
We have the LaCourte branch located on Palmer Street in the Peterstown Community Center.
Right.
We have the Eport branch located in the Catholic Community Catholic
Is that
Cherry
3rd Street?
Center.
Right.
That's on 3rd Street.
Right.
And we have the Elmore branch located on West Grand.
Okay. Now, the exterior renovation of the main library, that's underway. Now, how long is that going to take?
It's underway. It's been actually about 5 years in the planning, and the work actually started on June 9th, and it's going to take approximately a year.
Okay.
The thing about it is so much is being done, and we're hoping that it'll be completed in a year, but we're having a new roof installed, the bricks are going to be repointed, the copper at the top of the building is going to be replaced. It's an entire facelift. As you well know, the main library is on the state and national list of historic places.
Okay.
And so therefore, it's a very involved job because things have to be done a particular way because of the historic nature of the building.
Now, once all the renovations are completed, how will this affect the patrons of the library?
Well, the patrons, we're hoping to have them affected as little as possible. Even though if you come to the main branch now, you'll see about 1/3 of the parking lot is dedicated to staging for the construction, but business as usual for our patrons. One inconvenience down the road is between January and March of 2011, the 4th floor auditorium, which is heavily used by groups throughout the city, will be closed during that phase of the renovation. Otherwise, we're hoping to have business as usual.
Now, what dates did you say again? Because that might affect me and some of the programs.
Okay, it actually started last week.
Right.
And through December, everything will be intact. But in January, starting January 2011 through March of 2011, we will not have the 4th floor available due to the renovation.
Now, the 4th floor brings back great memories. We had not auditions, but the tryouts for the citywide spelling bee. Most recently, we had the underage drinking program. How do you feel about the 4th floor?
Well, the 4th floor is a wonderful space, and people come, and it gives us an opportunity to partnership with agencies throughout the city. That's one of the things that we're very interested in doing. We're not a place where you come just to get books. We want to be involved in the life of the community. We want to involve ourselves with agencies in the community who can articulate to us the needs of some of the patrons in town. So anytime we have the opportunity to partner with another agency, we do so. And as it relates to Spelling Bee, I've been involved with that from day one.
Yes.
And I feel ownership for it. I'm one of the callers, and so Stan Neuron, if you're listening, I want to be the caller again this year.
As long as we have that clear, I'm not the bad guy. That was Stan,
That was
not me.
Stan.
Now, the library has been approved for the second phase of the Gates Opportunity Grant. Now, how will this benefit the library?
I tell you, we're so excited to get the second phase. It's going to actually provide $33,000 to the library. We already have the check in our account. What we have to do with the money is purchase computers that will be used by the public. Cannot use it for staff computers, only public computers. We're actually going to update some of the computers that need to be replaced. But the thing that we're most excited about with this money is that on the third floor we have a computer lab. One of the things that is happening at the library now is that we're providing community classes on an ongoing basis for our patrons. We've done it in the past, but on a more limited basis, but now the demand is so great. People are coming into the library, they're looking for jobs, they're writing resumes, they're using us really to help them during these tough economic times. And so being able to enlarge our teaching capability. We had the computer lab on the second floor for many years. We've now relocated to the third floor, and by doing that, we have 24 computers, or we will have 24 computers instead of 12 computers. So, you know, when we have classes, it's one person per computer, and so this is going to lend itself to helping more people. The other thing that is exciting about this is that with the opening of the lab on the third floor, there will be open hours where people, if classes aren't being conducted, people have taken the classes, you know as well as I do, taking the classes. One thing, it's really having an opportunity to practice what you learned in those classes that is going to make the difference. So by having open computer hours, which we haven't had in the past, people will be able to come and practice and really make use of what they've learned in those classes.
So in addition to the computers on the second floor, which I consider the main entrance when you come in off Broad Street.
Exactly.
You have a computers on the third floor.
We have many computers on the third floor. Not only do we have computers where people can do internet searching, but we have computers that are devoted just to word processing. Because as you know, the demand for computers is great in the library, and so we have to limit people to a certain amount of time. It's 2 hours per day. And so many times when people are coming in and they're typing, and some of them are not expert typers or they're doing paper, we try not to include that in a 2-hour limit. So if you're doing just word processing, there are computers there just for that. And also remember on the third and the second floor and throughout the library, we now have wireless access and has had it for a few years. So what we're seeing now, because as many computers as we have 144 computers for the public throughout our system. But it's still not enough. But with the wireless access available now, we're seeing more and more people coming into the library with their laptops. So on the third floor, there is space and tables available for people to come in, set up their laptops, and use our wireless access.